What's going on, everybody? Thank you for signing up for the Rate Your Physiques. I got the IFBB judge and the IFBB coach and the IFBB pro in house, and we're going to go through your Rate Your Physiques and do the best we can to give you guys some feedback. We're not going to do Rate Your Form because those of you who submitted these on the app obviously just submitted pictures, but we're going to end up doing a Rate Your Form segment down the road somewhere. But let's get through these Rate Your Physiques. Paul, Ben, ready?
Yep, ready.
Okay, first Rate Your Physique. I don't have last names for all these, so it's from Jacob in the US. He's a men's classic physique. He's 5'11", 195, and additional relevant information. Love the podcast. Thank you.
That's relevant.
That's relevant. All right, so we're gonna take a look at Jacob.
Well, did you say classic or physique? Sorry.
Classic.
It
I
says,
I think you said classic.
It's not physique.
let me just, it says here.
Classic. Sorry, it's classic physique. That's what I heard. Yeah, you're good. Yeah.
Men's classic physique. Yeah, I got a little spreadsheet here. Okay.
Yeah.
This is Jacob. What do you say it? 5'11", 195. All right.
It doesn't look that tall, eh?
5'11", 195. What are your first impressions, Paul?
It's got a pretty good overall development right now. I think I'm not sure. It's a little bit the way he's standing right now, but I would focus on a little bit more delts, rounding out the delts more to give more of that tapered look from the front. But he looks pretty good. He looks like he's got good quads, decent arms. Look at the triceps. Maybe you're a little bit smaller than the biceps right now.
Well,
chest looks okay.
Before we go through all the body parts, let's go through some of the pictures here. So that's a front double.
I like it. It's a good pose on him. Inner thighs.
Lat width from the front. He probably needs to focus on as well.
Yeah, his arms look good there.
Side chest. Hamstrings need to
Definitely
come up.
hamstrings.
Need to come up to match the quad.
Yeah.
And I think this is the last shot we have. It's a back shot. Back's actually pretty good. It just doesn't come around from the front as much. But
yeah.
My initial impression is I'm seeing more arm and shoulder than I am torso.
Yeah, definitely.
So it looks like you could thicken up in the chest and back. Because his arms and shoulders are pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ben, what do you think from looking at these four shots?
Yeah, I agree. I think quads are a strong point. Arms are a strong point. So it would be a lot more. I would focus a lot on his back right now to get it to. I don't think you can have too much back. I think that's, you obviously you're going to hit the weight cap in the classic, but I think having good legs, which he's on his way to having, and then the back insertions are all there. Like the shape is there, so just density and keep developing.
Hamstrings aren't too bad. I'm gonna guess a couple things based on form. So the center of his back looks thicker than the outer areas of his lats. So I don't know if he's doing a lot of like rack deads or like maybe a lot of close grip rowing, but he needs to thicken up that outer portion of the lat here where he's kind of dipping in.
Mm-hmm.
Traps look thick. You could use some more like trap rhomboid areas thicker than obviously the upper trap area. So could get into more shrugging, maybe shrugging on a reverse incline bench. Could get into that a bit. And then hamstrings look like they're actually pretty good from the back as far as thickness, but the width of the hamstring looks kind of narrow. It could be the way he's standing, but I would change foot position when doing like leg curls or stiff leg deadlifts. Maybe try doing feet close together, feet wider apart, try and get more of that hamstring developed from side to side.
I'd bring some of the adductors up as well, especially from the front. He's a lot of quad and now to sweep on there.
Yeah,
there's a little bit of it, but if that thickened up from the front and the back, that would help thicken the leg out.
Yeah, you could see there's more muscular development in the lateralis here than there is in the inner portion of the leg.
Yep.
You can see it here too. So yeah, so Jacob, I guess we're gonna leave it at I think in my opinion, you guys can give yours after. In my opinion, the primary goal would be back, then chest. Actually, not even. I would say back, then inner thighs, add a hamstring, and then chest last. Arms and shoulders are great. Quads are pretty good. What do you think, Paul?
I agree 100%. It's his lats. I think his back is thick, but he needs more lats. His hamstrings, I think, are a little weak compared to his quads, and I think that's would fill in that gap in his inner thighs too if his hamstrings were thicker. I think he's got nice shape though. I think, and he's said he's 5'11", 195, so he's got a lot of room to grow in his his height weight category still. So I would focus on putting all that muscle on his back and hamstrings. So the back of his body is what I mean.
Ben, anything additional?
I'm not going to repeat what you guys just said. Yeah, same thing. It's all good.
Okay.
It's the back and the hams.
Jacob, hope that helps you out a little bit. The next person is Dom Kirby from Great Britain. Men's classic physique, 5'9", 220. Let me just pull that up.
Classic
5'9", 220.
Yeah, I don't think that's off season, obviously.
5'9", 220,
Yeah.
220 is what he has listed, and it does not look like it's off season.
Really?
It looks like a nice physique. Let me just pull this picture out real quick so we can share. So the picture's not great. I wonder if I can, I think I magnify this a bit. There we go.
Yeah.
5'9", 220.
I'm assuming that's off season.
Sorry, his name was Dom Kirby. I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming this is the 5'9", 220.
Yeah, at this condition here, I'm thinking. So that's probably still 20, 30 pounds away from stage weight.
Yeah. I don't think they're trying to like give us any. I think they're giving us the weight of their photos. They're not telling us.
Yeah.
This guy's got nice shape.
Yeah,
small waist.
Sorry, let me go through a couple of photos, then we'll comment on it. Oh, it's a nice double Y.
Yeah.
Great back. Holy shit.
Thick hamstrings.
Look at the legs.
Thick adductors. Yeah. The
Right,
hamstrings are thick.
All right, let me blow this up a little bit. What do we see here that's missing? Actually, when I blow it up a bit, I notice the back is not comparable to the legs.
The lower body's very impressive.
Yeah, the legs are very thick, and then
thick arms.
The development is there. It just needs it all needs to thicken up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it looks like the back inserts in the right areas and shit. It's not like he's missing anything. It just this whole area needs to thicken up compared to this.
Yeah,
definitely. But he's thick.
He's great.
Thick arms and legs.
His quads are good as well. So I'd chill out on the leg training. Especially, I've got a classic guy trying to make weight at the minute, and he's all leg, and it's just hard to get him down because his legs are so well developed.
Well, this is a thing that a lot of people don't realize is when you see a guy that weighs 280, like I'll give you a perfect example. Look at Antoine.
Yeah.
Antoine goes on stage really heavy, but it's when your legs are big that really contributes to your weight more so than if you have like a huge chest or huge, you know what I mean? So you guys out there who have massive legs and want to do classic, you got to be careful because it's going to skew your weight.
Yeah. So if he's
go ahead, Paul. Front double. What do you think?
I love his shape. I love the X shape there. He's got big arms. He vacuums nice too. Like on him, a vacuum looks nice. You know, like it's not like a full vacuum; it's like a half kind of. But I think he looks great. This guy. I think even if he's like borderline making his weight, like he's got enough muscle on his frame to go open bodybuilding.
I was about to say put 20, 30 pounds on him, and I'm all in on this kid. He's
20 pounds. I mean, 20 pounds. 30 pounds in this condition puts him at 250, which puts him on stage around 230.
Not 5'9". That's a little light.
It's still a little light. He's still a little too small for open. I mean, maybe in the amateurs, but not
right.
But he does
say his age.
Said no, it does not say his age.
You need to change your application format. We need to say the age as well. Careers.
So comment.
Well, if he's 21, that's a different prospect. So if he's 41, right?
Right. Yeah.
We should guess their ages. That should be the fun part of the.
Yeah, we want to do that. That'd be fun.
I think he's 29.
Really?
I would say 31.
I'm going to say in his 30s too. Can I see another shot out of his face?
No, look how young he looks there.
He does look young. Yeah. I think it's deceiving though. I'm going to say 34.
It's supposed to be right your physique, not right your face.
Okay. He's got a great physique.
He's got good hamstrings from the side as well.
Yeah. I
don't
see him missing anything except for maybe some lat thickness.
So listen, I actually disagree. So let's go through we'll go through strong points. Strong points are obviously legs, front and back. We can't see how developed the hamstrings are because he's still off season.
No, look at the side chests.
Yeah, they're good. I'm listen.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're bad. I still think the hamstrings should be a little better, but they're when you look from their back, they're very thick. But I don't know how much of this is going to disappear when he's shredded.
Mhm.
So I will say we'll just go with legs are great.
Mhm.
Arms are good. Shoulders look like they could use a little bit more.
Yeah.
Back, in my opinion, back is the weakest point.
Yeah.
This all because look, the one thing you have to remember is this is still off season when all this fat has got, not that you're really fat, Dom, but when all this fat is gone, this back is going to look very small.
I agree.
Now it might match with the legs because when all this fat is gone off of here, it might look proportionate. But I have a feeling when all this fat is stripped off the whole body, this back is the volume of it is going to be very small.
Yeah, that's his weak point, in my opinion, too.
And then the second weak point I could see is the chest. So his chest obviously is shaped a little differently. It's not traditional, like boxed off. Mm-hmm. So in my opinion, you need to really thicken up that chest as much as possible to avoid this.
You can notice it there, especially, yeah.
Right. Like the thicker this chest gets, the less like misshapen it will look. So in my opinion, back and chest again, mostly back though.
Agreed.
Would you guys both kind of agree with that?
Yep, 100%. A little bit of delt, like you said. Rear delt maybe.
Yeah, I think the rear delt could. I mean, shoulders are almost one of those body parts that I don't feel could be too big, but
yeah.
And especially it's upper body 3-4 times a week. Legs once, maybe.
Yeah. I think that's right. I think that's right, Ben. It's almost like the legs are there already, and you just got to get the upper body to catch up. Yeah. Okay. And Dom, if you watch this, shoot me a DM and let me know how old you are. Because Ben, what did you say?
31. But I wonder. Yeah, I'm committing 31.
Paul, what did you say?
34.
Okay, I say 29.
Huh.
That's spread. Narrow.
That's
spread.
mature physique. That's a mature physique, I think.
Nah, not that mature. Watch, he's gonna be 40. I'm gonna be totally way off. Okay. Let's go to the next guy. Conrad. Conrad is men's classic physique, 5'8.5", 196. Additional relevant information: doing classic physique, competing at nationals December 3rd. So I'm assuming he's from Colorado. No, he's from the he's from the US. I'm sorry. Men's classic physique, 5'8.5", 196. Let me just open this up. That's good condition.
This is current.
I'm assuming this goes along with the stats he gave. This is Conrad here, US, 5'8.5", 196.
He's close.
Oh, you know what? No.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, guys. This is competing at nationals December 3rd. A lot of these were submitted a while back, so this was probably as he was getting ready for his show.
Right. Yeah, he looks pretty close there.
Yeah. So this was probably as he was getting ready. So let's just rate it anyway. We don't know how he did at the show, but we'll go through the photos.
He poses like a bodybuilder. It's one thing that's standing out to me right now, like instead of classic.
The nice thing about judging this physique is it's already shredded, so you can be accurate in the or close to shredded anyway. Okay, Paul, you want to give your thoughts?
Yeah, I think like a physique like his, he's got like really good development all over, great conditioning. But he's a little bit thicker in the waist from the front, which, and his lats don't flare out from the front so much right now. So in my opinion, especially being a classic physique competitor, he should throw some twists onto these poses to give the illusion of more of a classical look. Like a little twist on the front double bicep. Just to make the waist appear a little bit smaller, because he's posing like a bodybuilder to me, and classic and bodybuilding posing is a little bit different. So that's kind of standing out to me right now.
But if we say so that's good information for him to have, but just based on his physique alone.
Okay, sorry.
If this guy, no, sorry. I'm just curious. I want to ask you a question. So Ben or Paul, whoever wants to answer this, if this guy came to you and said, I want to be a classic physique competitor.
Okay.
Would you say that he's a good candidate for it? Or would you say he's not yet and he needs to bring up what? Ben? No,
Okay, from that front shot, what stuck out for me the most, and again, it ties into what Paul said, was be the lat width, and I think that's going to help him taper into that waist. A little bit of arm thickness there. The legs are okay for considering you've always got to be aware of the weight cap here, so
yeah.
You can't just be slabbing on perfect amount of muscle wherever you want it. When going back to the back shots, I think the back density, and lat width there, I could see improving along with the arms. So,
yeah, his legs are probably his best body part. His quads from the front, hamstrings could use a little bit more work, but his quads from the front are probably the best body part.
Yeah, his hamstrings from the side though.
This pose is way off.
Yeah.
Sorry, Conrad, but it almost looks like you're sticking your stomach out and you're leaning back here, and you're also tilting your arm, which is making your rear delt look smaller, and you're basically straight. You're not twisting at all, so your chest looks flat. Like this whole pose needs to be reworked.
Yep. It's not doing his physique justice at all.
No. Yeah, you're not doing
yourself. He looks better than that.
Yeah. And then from the ab and thigh, he's got great abs. But see, I want to point something out. I want to point something out. So, Paul, you touched on it. So did you, Ben. This is definitely an issue. Like the way, I mean, we'll use Chris Bumstead since he's the 10 out of 10 in classic, right? The reason Chris looks so good is because his lats flare out to here. So they'll be like there, and then he'll come into this little waist. You need to have that X frame if you're going to do well in classic. If you look at what I was getting at when I was looking at this photo is, to me, this is not a classic physique because there's not enough X frame. It's a little too straight up and down. There's not enough of an exaggeration for it to be a pro level classic physique.
I agree totally, Fouad. That's why I was saying, like, if he's stuck on staying with classic though, if that's what he wants to do, then I would put some twists on these poses to make him look more classic.
Agree. But as far as building muscle, I would just build more back, because as Ben said too, as Ben said from the back, this is a little thin. It might be an insertion thing, because you see like the lats look a little strange here. They're not really filled out. So I don't know how they're going to look the thicker he gets, but definitely needs more back and more hamstring. The other thing I was going to say is, I noticed in the ab and thigh, see how small his waist gets?
Yeah.
Now watch this. When you go back to the front relaxed, the waist actually looks wider.
Because he's elongating, you think?
Well, I'm just saying, whatever the posing issue is needs to be corrected, because obviously there's potential for his waist to be narrow, because you see here, right?
Yeah.
So it took me a while in my career, but I realized I could flex my obliques. Like, you can actually suck them in. So it almost looks like he needs to be able to learn how to do that while doing this pose, because I know he wants to do a vacuum, but his waist actually looks smaller while in an ab and thigh.
The vacuum doesn't look good on everybody. Not everyone should do one, I don't think. It's
almost like a trademark for classic, though, isn't it? Like these guys kind of got to do it for classic.
No, you don't have to at all. I think people think they have to do it, but if it looks good on you, then do it. But if it doesn't look good on you, then don't do it.
So, Paul, when you're judging, I know you don't have to under judging criteria, but if you're looking at like 6 guys on stage and everybody's pulling a vacuum except for one guy, do you look at him differently, or is it still a fair look?
No, to me, it's just the pose I'm looking at. I've seen guys like it's impressive when someone could do a vacuum from the side and show how small they can make their waist in that, but really, it's more of that wow factor. Like, I'm not really gonna give points for that, to be honest with you. Unless it looks good on you, then it helps your pose, then do it. But if it doesn't, then I don't think you should get award points.
I think that's the key point, right? Is if it makes your physique look better, then do it. If it doesn't, what are you doing?
Right. Like, I don't think you should get an extra point because you can vacuum and the other guy can't.
Is there anything you guys want to add to this? So we said back for sure, hamstrings, and more arms.
Yeah. Honestly, though, if I was his coach, I would push open bodybuilding and build that back.
Yeah, I mean, let's see. Weight wise, he's 5'8.5", 196. Dude, he's gonna have to. He's gonna
have to.
No, but Paul, what I'm trying to say is, like, he's gonna have to put on 50 fucking pounds to go to open. It's not that easy for everybody to just go for open, right? Like,
yeah.
Because you get these guys who are 196 pounds. I don't know. Again, let's guess his age, because
he looks young. Like I
Late
meant more if we had
20s.
like if his goals to become a professional, then I would think that, maybe switching to open and trying to build your back bigger and taking some time to build that muscle that you're going to need to go open. Because if he's already at his border for if his cutoff weight for classic now, it's going to be hard to put on the muscle he needs on his back.
What is the cutoff for 5'8"?
I could look it up real quick. I'm not sure offhand. I'm sure it's right around there though, if not maybe a little bit less.
It's close. So
Yeah, you're right. So if he puts on the amount of muscle he needs to balance out his frame, he's going to go overweight.
Yeah,
is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's valuable. All right. We'll move on to the next one. Carlos Joya. Hoya. I don't know how you pronounce that. Carlos is men's classic physique again, 5'8", 177, currently in the off season at 207. So I think these are his stage shots. One sec, guys. I'll share them in a second. So 5'8", 177 is what we're looking at. And share and blow up. 5'8", 177. Quads look great.
Mm-hmm.
Waist looks great. Back flares around pretty good. Chest is pretty thick. Triceps could use more. Go ahead, Ben.
I was going to say, this is a prime example of the opposite, right? Where a physique looks much bigger than it weighs.
Yes.
Because if that's 177, he looks enormous for 170. I know it's perspective, but
yeah,
he now starts to look like he's filling out his frame a touch more.
Yeah, you mean in comparison to the last guy who had more of a straight up and down physique.
And is on that borderline of like, you need to be more developed, but you haven't got much weight to play with.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I was talking about before with Conrad, was this X frame. You see how like the lat starts here. Look at the gap. If you go straight down to his quad, right? Look at the gap in here.
Yeah.
You need to create as big a gap in here as you can. So this straight line here is like, that's what's creating this X frame. He could use a little bit more adductor, but that's kind of nitpicking. Let's go through the poses a bit. Back shot looks great.
Gets pretty hard too.
He gets great condition. Yeah, he could use more adductor.
Yeah.
Yep.
This needs to thicken up across.
Lower that.
This is a training thing to me. I swear. I think when guys are training hamstrings, a lot of guys will keep their legs apart when doing anything, whether it be a leg curl, seated leg curl, a stiff leg deadlift. And I think it kind of takes away some of the contraction from the inside of the hamstring.
Yeah.
I think if you try for the guys listening, try doing leg curls or stiff leg deadlifts or anything like that with your feet close together, and you'll feel a different contraction on this inner side of the hamstring. Because you can see the development here, right? That's from having your legs apart. And we don't.
There's an exercise I really like for it, and it seems like a lot of people have got away from it. It's weighted walking lunges.
Oh, we used to do a lot of those, yeah.
Because if you think about it, when you're doing like a static lunge, you stay here, right? If you're doing that lunge, as you come in, you're bringing your body into, you take a step and then you come towards it. That little bit of adduction back into the center line, you're starting to get that hamstring and the adductor bring it back in. If it's heavy enough, it's hard work.
With dumbbells?
Yeah. I used to do barbell. I like a barbell.
Barbell, yeah.
I think either or works, but the reason barbell is better is because sometimes if guys get dumbbells in their hands, they end up swinging them
or leaning forward.
They're like
you kind of use the inertia from the dumbbell to kind of move you through the movement. So if you get a little more balance, you get some balance with a bit of that. With the dumbbells, they can actually start knocking into you. And
I think barbell's harder too.
So leg thickness is the primary thing I see so far. We'll go to, this is just a classic shot. Let me blow that up a bit. I mean, everything else is pretty much there. It's funny. He's actually the opposite of the first few guys we've seen. He's more torso dominant than limb dominant.
Yeah.
He needs to thicken up the limbs instead of the other way around, like some of the other guys we looked at already.
Nice conditioning though. Guy was pretty shredded.
Yeah, but you wonder sometimes when I look at this, I wonder to myself, did he over diet? Because his legs almost look like
stringy a little bit. Yeah. Yeah,
It's
because
almost,
everything else is so round, eh? And then in some poses, his quads don't look quite as round.
it almost looks like one of those preps where he did like 2 hours of cardio and no food, and his
Yeah,
legs, because it's weird because the rest of his muscle doesn't look this worn out.
right. It's like he did too many
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
step climber too long or something.
Yeah. In here, the arms look good here in this shot, but obviously you're pressing them against your body. But in my opinion, chest and back, like entire torso is his best attribute, and then you need to work back from there. Like arms and legs just need more.
Mhm.
You
Agreed.
guys agree? It's kind of same thing.
Especially triceps, yeah. I can see maybe a little bit more lower lats. Um, and yeah, the inner thighs, hamstrings.
Ben?
Yeah, I agree. Considering those how dug out his hamstrings and glutes are, or like it comes right up into there, I would say that he definitely attacked his cardio. You can see it. He's lower body does look worn out.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see if he's in 2 or 3 pounds heavier. He probably wouldn't suffer that much in conditioning, but might have held the leg a little better.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But yeah, no arms and limbs. He's got a good taper on him from that front double was really nice. So
I wonder how close he was with his cutoff.
177. We'll look it up. It's well,
Oh,
actually,
what's 37?
let me bring
He's
it up.
177 in those photos.
What was he, 5'8"?
He was 5'8", yes.
5'8". So he's. I have to. I don't know. Off the top of my head. You should have this, Fred. This is your.
I have him. I just gotta bring it up.
I don't know classic shit.
NPC up to 5'8", 182. So he's got 5 pounds to play with.
That's gonna be tough,
5 pounds. Well, hang on. 5 pounds in that condition. That's only his amateur cap, because the pro cap would be another 7
10?
to 8 pounds on that, right?
Yeah, but I feel like the legs need to come up a lot, and like we already said, the leg mass creates a lot more weight on a scale.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Yeah,
like,
but if he's in that kind of condition, if you take that kind of condition and add 5 pounds of weight to that,
yeah.
5 pounds of tissue on a 5'8" frame is going to look in that kind of condition.
In that kind of condition, yeah.
Yeah. I could definitely see him being like very competitive at a pro level, at a pro qualifier, at a national show.
Okay.
And then he gets an extra 7-8 pounds on top of that after. So
yeah. Okay. The next guy is Daniel from the United States men's bodybuilding.
yes,
5'10", 240, but we don't have much to look at because Daniel is in the off season. So it's hard to tell, what we need to work on because you're not really in shape. Like based on these photos, arms are pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Let me back up here. I don't know why I went that close. Arms are pretty good.
legs
look okay.
No, I think legs need more, man.
Yeah.
The quad from the front was not terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, for open bodybuilding, he's gonna put slabs of meat on.
Yeah.
So Daniel, that's who we're talking about here. Daniel, it's hard to tell exactly what we need to work on because you're not in shape, so we can't really say what muscles are developed and what muscles aren't. But my personal opinion from looking at this is shoulders and arms are pretty good. Back looks decent. Chest and legs need to come up to me. That's what I see. I don't know. Ben, what do you see?
I see a lack, not a lack, that's the right word. I see a need for more years and more growth.
Yeah.
I'm not sure he needs to specialize all of that much in a certain area, other than like the arms are going to grow. I don't think he needs to specialize in the arms, but I think he just needs to keep pounding the iron and keep putting weight on.
Yeah,
because he's got to thicken up.
How old do you think he is, Ben?
Maybe late 20s.
I'm going to say 22.
I'm going to say 24, 25.
Okay. Right, mid 20s.
I'm judging everybody too young, I think, or I'm way ahead. I'm more accurate than you guys are.
It's one of those two.
it's one of the other. All right, so Daniel needs just more overall mass, we'll say. Let's move on to the next guy. Okay, we have a good physique here to look at. It's Nick from the United States. Men's physique, 5'6", 184.
Oh, he's gonna have a ton of muscle on him. Is that in shape?
This is men's physique though.
He's
Yep.
5'6" and one.
Oh wow.
He's right here, 5'6", 184.
Why do you
looks
black
like-
out his face?
That looks like 5'6", 180. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't want us to guess his age.
Oh, I thought it was a stage weight. Sorry, that's why I was like, holy shit, he's gonna be a
Yeah, got a lot of muscle.
Yeah, he's got a good men's physique.
That's not a men's physique pose though.
yes.
No, but it's a good men's physique because the legs are definitely undersized.
He's a little bit
massive
thick for
chest.
men's physique, actually. I think. Like
He's
I know
got
guys are
massive-
getting bigger.
No,
Guys-
come on.
Guys are getting bigger for men's physique, but he's got kind of a thicker look than than
Look,
I would.
I might be biased because he looks Arab, but and I'm racist. But I tell you, I think this is a perfect men's physique. When I look at Brandon Hendrickson, I see the
Yeah.
same tiny little waist, really thick chest, arms. Like he's really well put together for men's physique.
Yeah.
His legs
Yeah.
are small. His legs aren't great, but it's okay because they're gonna be covered.
He's got a massive chest.
Yeah.
Let me see what the back look like again.
Is he got some like loose skin issues in the stomach there?
No, I think
Look
he's
like
just
it.
I think he's just chubby.
Okay.
Why did he black out his face in the other ones and not this?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good size waist, dude, for men's physique.
For sure it is.
I think there's a
Yeah.
lot of potential there. I mean, look, what are we going to guess his age at? I'm guessing
Oh.
like 19.
Oof.
Yeah. I'm gonna say
23. 23.
21. 21.
Paul, you're wrong for sure. Look how young he looks.
He looks like a young Pablo Escobar.
He does. He does actually.
But he's got a lot of muscle, man. I don't know. I think he would
No.
do good in men's physique, but I think he would.
What is he?
he's got-
5'6", 184. I think he's
5'6".
great. I really do.
Yeah, so that's gonna be a lot.
I like
Like-
to see when he's leaner though, like what his abdominals look like, when he's shredded,
I don't know. I don't know if he's like pushing his obliques in here with his hands, but I think this is a great shot for him.
He's got a tiny waist.
Man, his waist is small, man. He's got good arms, shoulders,
Yeah.
Massive. That
Back.
chest is huge from the side.
back. Once all this chub is gone from here, this is going to look great.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, just
Yeah.
take care of your skin a little bit,
for
but
sure.
I mean, if we're going to pick out negatives, when all the fat is gone, maybe a little bit more tricep. But then if you look over here, it looks like his arms are great.
Yeah, yeah. I like to see what because I want to see what his abdominals look like when he's shredded because men's physique that's important.
Well, you can kind of see the outline here. It looks like he's got a good ab structure.
Obliques look good, but the abdominals, I think that looks to me like loose skin or something. Like maybe he was heavier at one time in his life.
I think you're just trying to be negative.
No, I'm not. I like what's his name, Carlos.
Yeah.
I like Carlos.
Doesn't sound like you like Carlos.
I like Carlos a lot. One of my favorites so far.
Doesn't sound like it. This guy's name is this guy's name is Nick, not Carlos. Carlos was two guys ago.
Oh, sorry. I like you, Nick.
Ben, any input on this? Maybe more rear delt?
His radars look pretty big, no?
Yeah, they look
Yeah. I'm just nitpicking. What do you see
Oh.
anything, Ben?
I mean, for men's physique, no, it's hard because I want to see him leaner. And like Paul said, the midsection is kind of the centerpiece of that class, right? So I don't know where his hands are. I can see what Paul's saying with the skin. So if as long as that comes in as he gets leaner, but he's got wide clavicles for a small waist and a big wide chest. So
I wonder if he had like a hernia surgery or something.
could be. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyways, aside from that, because we can't tell what it is,
Mhm.
if he's got okay, well, let's answer this question since we're on it, Paul. If he's shredded, his ab structure is good, but he's got a little bit of loose skin around that navel. Is it how detrimental it is to his placing?
Loose like a scar, let's say.
No, not a scar, not a scar. Let's say that is loose skin, like in that area. Is that going to hold him back from getting a pro card?
Well, it's hard to say that it's the one thing to hold him back. It depends on what any show. You know what I mean? Like if whatever show he's in, if he's in a pro qualifying show, if that's the difference between him and the guy next to him, then so be it. If
yeah,
That's
But
what I
I
mean.
don't-
That's what I mean. Like if a guy shows up with that structure and they're both in the same condition, that loose, if it is loose skin,
Mhm.
that will definitely be a detriment, right?
it could be a detriment.
Okay.
Yeah, everything's judged off the visual, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
You can see it, it gets judged.
So Nick, I don't know if you were trying to hide your waist or if you were just posing, but we can't give a totally accurate. But everything else other than your stomach looks great to me anyway.
A lot of potential.
Yeah. Okay. Next one up is men's classic physique. John is from Great Britain. He is, let's see here. It's loading. And let me share with you guys. He is 6 feet tall, 220, with a ton of information. Okay, let me just share this with you. Then I'm going to have to do some reading.
What category, Fouad?
Classic.
Category is classic physique. Okay, it says.
Is that a natural? Oh, it's pure elite.
Good looking.
What?
Got a good look for classic.
No, that's not what you said.
That's what I meant though. He's got a good look for classic.
That's
You wanted his number.
No, wait a minute. That's not what you said.
I can compliment another man without being gay, Fouad.
I know. I'm not saying you can't. I'm not saying you can't, but I just want to make sure that's what you said.
But I meant for the category is what
I don't think that's what you meant. That's not how you said it. It was like
you meant for some late night reading. He's pretty good looking.
It was almost like a Freudian slip, and then you're like, "Wait a minute, I meant for."
Just an observation.
He is a striking gentleman. Okay, last show is July 2021. Currently 220 pounds after doing a tidy up phase before. Okay, blah blah blah. Stage weight was 196. Photo 1 is my first show last year, taking first place. Okay, that's photo 1. Photo 2 is a photo shoot after my second show of the year. Photo 3 is at my heaviest in the current off season around 2 months ago.
He's been enjoying himself.
Last photo is this November after coming back from my 3-week trip, 0 training for 3 weeks. Well, that's not going to help you turn pro. John. Okay, John, let's go through. So these are probably the most recent photos, obviously, and this is what he looks like on stage. I don't know. On stage is great. Quads could be better, in my opinion. Upper body looks pretty good to me. What do you think, Ben? Ben, anything? What do you see there?
No, I like it. He's got that good wide lat to waist ratio for that classic physique.
Yeah.
Quads. Obviously he needs to be harder and sharper. Arms need to come up a tiny bit and some more back. But the leg size I think is there, especially from the off-season photo that you just put up. He just needs to be sharp for.
So
classic.
he's 6 feet. He's 6 feet 196 here.
A lot of room.
So I feel like my first inclination is just to say he's pretty balanced. He looks like his body parts all fit together well, but he just needs that extra weight that he's allowed to put on.
Yeah.
Back and arms and
because everything looks, if you look at it, everything looks pretty proportionate. Like, shoulders don't outmatch the arms, back, you can see kind of here it's thin, but it's there. Hamstrings are there, like, condition could be a little better, but like all the body parts are equal size as far as I can see, except for he's got good calves. But do you guys see any standout body parts or weak body parts? Because everything looks pretty even to me.
His lats from the front flare nicely, which I think is a strong point.
Yeah,
yeah. And like you said, he just has a nice overall flow to his physique. I think he needs a little bit more muscle still, but nice thing is he's got all that room to grow still. He's got
what was he, 190 what stage? Sorry, Paul.
196 here, he said.
Yeah, so he's got like 30 pounds or so.
Well, for the amateur class, he's got 20 pounds.
20, okay.
But imagine 20 pounds of tissue on this. If you
and sharper.
It's not 20. It's actually, was it 212 would be his weight cap?
So
okay. 16.
But if he was 4 pounds, if he was 3 or 4 pounds sharper here,
right,
then add that weight cap on, then he's
so he literally has 20 pounds. So
yeah,
I guess what we're saying is, John, if you were 20 pounds heavier, you look like you'd make a good pro, as long as while putting on that 20 pounds, you don't increase the size of your waist at all.
Yeah.
So going back to what Paul said about enjoying yourself, I don't know if this doesn't look horrible. Like it,
No,
it,
no,
it,
no,
do-
it
it does
doesn't.
look, it does look a little soft for an off season, but it doesn't look horrible. But just be
And what do you?
careful. Just be careful packing on that mass, because if you blow out that waist, then you're in trouble.
Yeah, and what do you say his weight was now, Fouad, in the off season here?
220.
220. Oh, really? Yeah.
But I don't see, this is the problem with this, and I hope, John, I hope you don't take offense to this. So this is 196, right? And this is 220, right? I don't see a lot of muscle gain.
No. At this
Like this
point,
is
no.
there's 24 pounds difference, but it just looks like 24 pounds of fat and water.
Right.
It doesn't look like he's put on a lot of muscle tissue for that 24 pounds. So John,
he said this was after no training for 3 or 4 weeks. So he's
yeah, but
deflated.
even
Yeah.
but even if we go back here, right? Like I don't see a tremendous amount of size put on the legs compared to this photo.
Yeah.
So it's like, John, when you're looking at your photos, you have to assess, okay, I put on 24 pounds, I'm 220, but does it look like any of that 24 pounds is solid muscle tissue, or did I just put on 24 pounds of fat and water?
Yeah. Like I think he needs to identify where he needs to put that muscle on and start tracking that progress.
I think this is where I agree with Ben's old sentiment about staying leaner in the off season, or maybe it's still your current sentiment. I don't know, Ben, but I think this is where I agree with it, is if you're staying a little bit sharper, you can see where you're adding that mass and not just adding mass for the sake of adding mass.
I agree.
So Ben,
Do you think it's
sorry, Ben, do you see a dramatic difference in muscle mass between this shot?
No, I mean, we talking about the off-season one. No, I mean, what was the year? I can't remember how long he said it was.
He said 2020, July 2021 was his last show.
And when was the first one?
It doesn't say. I'm assuming this is the July 2021.
Yeah. It looked like he did bodybuilding at that show, judging by the trunks.
Yeah, by the trunks, yeah. Peak
Yeah.
off. Wait. This is even worse now. And I don't know which one's which here. Let me see. Second photo, third photo is at my heaviest.
Yeah.
So he says his peak off-season weight was 242.
Yeah, that's that. So that's like 60 pounds up.
There?
Yeah. So I mean, there's
50 pounds, sorry.
50 pounds here difference, but I only see a little bit thicker physique. I don't see like 50 pounds worth of gain. Not that you're getting
right, that could have been 10 weeks before the first picture, is what you're saying.
Yeah. This, I mean, I think that's a little dramatic. It looks like he put on some size, but you just have to be careful. You can't be like, I put on 54 pounds and only 4 pounds of it be muscle. Like if you put on 54 pounds, you want to try and hope you got 10 pounds of it at least. I don't know. Agreed, Ben? No? Yes? Is there a ratio where you'd be like, I put on this much fat, but this much muscle came with it?
I think everyone's slightly different on that one. I don't think you can do a hard and fast rule. Some people keep adding weight and it just looks great on them. They just keep getting fuller and rounder.
Like fucking Neil. Neil puts on weight and he just doesn't get any fatter.
Yeah.
No, but I guess I'm just looking at my own career. Like I used to put on 50 pounds in the off season. But every time I got on stage, I was at least 5 to 10 pounds heavier. So I knew I was gaining with that fat mass. You know what I mean? Like, I probably could have stayed a little bit leaner, but regardless, like you just want to make sure you're gaining muscle if you're going to gain the fat to go with it.
You didn't get fat in the off season, Fouad. You just got like watery. It wasn't like fat.
I used to get real puffy. Okay, let's move on. So basically our advice to John is more overall mass. Is that we're all saying?
Yeah, he's got a great frame though to build it on, and he's got a lot of room to grow still, so he's got a lot of potential.
Edgar is next. Whenever I hear Edgar, I think of Edgar Fletcher.
One of the great physiques that ever turned pro.
Yeah. Oh my God, Edgar's fucking awesome. I'm gonna share it with you guys. It'd be good if you I might have hyped him up too much. Look at fucking Edgar's quads. Holy shit.
Oh damn.
Yeah. Shit.
Hey, this guy looks good.
Edgar,
is this classic too?
Wait, you told us nothing about him yet.
Wait a second. This has got to be wrong. Edgar says he's 5'1", 198.
5'1".
He's as tall.
5'1".
He's as tall
He's
as
in a
the
hobbit
door.
house. He's in a hobbit house.
Yeah.
It looks like his
Right,
quads are like photoshopped.
He looks more like 6'1".
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless he's in a tiny fucking house. That
Yeah.
must be it.
Yeah, because if he was 6'1", he'd be touching the ceiling right now.
How old is he, Paul?
Right, imagine. I can walk in that fucking house
Yeah.
if he's
How old is he, Paul?
Let me see the face again. Zoom, please. Not there. Yeah. He looks pretty young. I'm gonna say 32.
He's dieted down, so it makes him look younger too.
True. 33.
What are we doing here? Get back to his
You're so bad at this. He's like
What do you think?
27.
Really?
Yeah, because he's got a beard. Once you shave this beard, he probably looks like a baby.
I see some fake color in that beard, though. I think so. I think he's starting to get some grays.
All right,
That's a nice physique, though.
let's get back to the important part. All right, waist is fucking awesome. Quads are mind blowing.
They look
We're gonna
photoshopped.
We're gonna assume that the height here is written wrong because there's no fucking way this house is that small. Side shots great.
Hamstrings, maybe.
Hamstrings. But look, wait a minute though, Paul. It looks like he's like not sitting on him properly. It almost looks like he's
The
flexing.
glute isn't. Yeah.
So if he's sitting on him, it's never going to look like a drop, right? But his chest is good, shoulders are good, arms are proportionate to his physique. Quads are great again. From the back, shoulders are good. Hamstrings need to match the quad, but I don't even know if that's possible because his quads are so good.
It must be the way he's flexing, but like his hamstrings look softer than everything else.
His condition for the back overall is not as good.
Yeah, it's not as good as the front. Yeah, those quads are so good that these hamstrings have a long way to go to match. Now, let me ask you a question, Paul. This is a good example. This guy gets on stage, right? He's got, you see him from the front, you're like, holy shit, quads are incredible. Does this actually hurt his physique because it's disproportionate, even though it's disproportionate in a good way?
It can, especially in classic. Because the physique should be symmetrical, ideally.
I think it's hurting his physique tremendously right now.
Yeah, because everything else is almost like, because then when you go to the back too, all I see is quads.
That front double is almost, and I don't mean this to be insulting. Fuck it, I'm just gonna say it. It's almost like wellness proportions where he's so big in the lower body.
Yeah. We should have wellness for men.
Fucking his legs.
What would you call it?
I don't know. Centaur. The Centaur class. Let's see.
But even in the back shot, in the back double is so lower body dominant.
Yeah. I don't know his back either.
You know what's really great? What's really funny is if he had smaller quads, this would be a way better physique.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, because everything, like if you look at everything, it's all proportionate. Everything, even his hamstrings match the upper body. It's the quads are just
stupid.
Yep.
So,
I find his back a little bit lacking though too.
He looks narrow. He looks narrow. Look how big his shoulders are, and then look at the back.
Yeah, the back could come up more. This whole backside needs work. Okay,
he needs to stop training the front. The front of his body just stop working it.
Yeah.
So Edgar, my advice, I'll pass it off to Ben and Paul after, but my advice is stop training your quads. And I would go back, and hamstrings would be my primary targets.
Yep.
But it's going to be fucking hard, man, because if your legs don't shrink, like I would almost tell this guy to jog.
Run it off some of the muscle?
I'd be like, you know what? Your cardio should be running.
Yeah, burn it off a little bit.
Yeah, because think about it. If he grows the rest of his body to match his quads, he's going to go overweight.
Yeah.
Or he'll become a great open bodybuilder.
Or he'll be a great open bodybuilder. Yeah.
Shit, if he's 5'1", then fucking let him go.
I don't buy he's 5'1". There's no fucking way.
Yeah, it's gotta be a mistake. Isn't that what Nicholas had to do there for a while? Like stop training his quads altogether for a couple of years?
Nick who? Walker?
No. That guy I think he's from Sweden, Nicholas, 212 guy.
Voyeur or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he said he stopped training altogether, but that was Patrick said that Ben would know more, but Patrick said that was to bring his waist back.
Oh,
yeah,
because they started.
But I think he did taper his leg training because his legs were so overdeveloped. They were enormous.
Yeah. So Edgar, it's tough, man. You got a really, really good body part, but it's actually making the rest of your body parts not look as good. So that's a weird one.
It's a crazy problem to have.
Yeah. Okay, guys, we got the last one here. Okay, the last guy is the last guy is Armando. Men's bot. It's not Italian. Armando could be Latino.
It sounds Italian.
Let's
see. Okay. I'll be able to tell.
He's definitely not Italian.
Oh, really? Okay.
Wrong on the age, wrong on the fucking nationality.
We don't know the age yet.
Okay, so Armando is 5'8.5", 175. I'm 16 years old. I've been training for 1 year. I want to turn pro in classic and then move up to open bodybuilding. Okay.
16?
Is 16. Okay. So this is going to be a short one because we're all probably going to say the same thing. Armando.
Let's start training.
Good physique for 16, I would say, because I think I looked like this at 19, so that's a good thing. I mean, look, he had more development than I had when I was that age. But I started training late, so that doesn't really say anything. I don't know about you guys. I'm just going to go off and say, look, there's not really too much to judge. I mean, legs look pretty good, arms look good, but overall, I would just train for a couple more years. Don't worry about turning pro. Just fucking train, have fun, build your physique. And the pro card will come, man. You're still 16 years old. There's no need to be judging your physique at this point. Just train and have fun.
Yeah. He looks like he's got some good genetics though.
I don't mean to be flippant. Like if he's looking for real career advice, it's still the same advice.
Yeah.
Don't fucking be like, I want to turn classic and then I want to be open. Like set a shorter, like, look, you're still 16. Like just be like, I want to be this weight by the time I'm 17, this weight by the time I'm 18, and eventually all that other shit will just come along with it.
You can't
If
even
he looks like that if he looks like that at 16, then I'm pretty keen to see what he looks like at 20 if he carries on.
Yeah, maybe we should sign him now.
Get him all these cheap food.
Yeah, there's Italians.
Armando, I'll offer you a 10-year contract for commission only. In 5 years of kids, Mr. Olympia.
Yeah. You can't even compete till you're 18 now anyways.
Okay. We're going to wrap that, guys. Thank you for watching the Rate Your Physiques. And those of you who we guess their ages, DM me and let me know because I want to know how far off Paul was. Anyway, thanks, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. We'll do more next week. And we'll try and get through all of these. If you want to have your physique rated, go on the app, download the HOSSTILE app, and apply there, and we will get to your pictures as soon as we go through. There's like 500 of them, so we're going to have to cycle through all these week by week, and eventually we'll get to yours. Thanks for watching, guys.